Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, Eretz Yisroel. May Kadosh Baruch Hu, may God protect our brave soldiers, and may God return all the hostages from Gaza immediately. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Galia bas Shimon, Edward ben Efraim, Shlomo ben Edward, and Yirachmiel ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Vayakhel, Beyond the Moment. Our Parsha begins with Moshe Rabbeinu descending Har Sinai, carrying the second set of tablets, the second set of luchos. He returned only after securing God's forgiveness for the sin of the golden calf, the Egel Hazav. And as he rejoins the Jewish nation, he gathers them to teach them the intricate laws of constructing the Mishkan. Moshe Rabbeinu explains that Bitzalel and Eliyav were divinely chosen to oversee and to manage its construction. The Torah then details the building of the Mishkan from its beams and sockets that formed the walls to the sacred priestly garments that were worn during the service. However, a question comes to mind. Moshe gathers the Jewish nation to discuss the Mishkan's construction at the beginning of our Parsha, and yet he begins with a reminder of the mitzvah of Shabbos. The pasuk states, "Sheshes yamim ta'asa malacha u'v'yom hashvi yeh lachem kodesh." On 6 days you may work, and work may be done, but on the seventh day you must take a Shabbos, you must rest, it is holy for you. This commandment is already one of the 10 commandments, one of the Aseret Debaros, and was mentioned before the sin of the golden calf in last week's Torah portion and multiple times before. Why is it repeated here? Specifically in the context of building the Mishkan. What is the deeper message in being conveyed here by linking the mitzvah of Shabbos and the construction of Hashem's dwelling place, the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash? Rashi, Rav Shlomo Yitzchaki, the leading Torah commentary, gives us a simple explanation. And he writes that the Torah mentions Shabbos before instructing about the Mishkan to teach us that even the construction of God's dwelling place, even the construction of the Mishkan, does not override the holiness, the sanctity of Shabbos. One might assume that building the Mishkan, a place of holiness, should take precedent over the laws of rest of Shabbos. Yet here, by stating Shabbos first again and the third time this is being done, the Torah makes it clear that no matter how sacred the work, it must stop in honor of Shabbos. However, the Ohr HaChaim, Ohr HaChaim ben Attar, Moroccan commentary and Kabbalist, gives us a deeper and more profound explanation. He writes that the Torah emphasizes 6 days of work alongside Shabbos, and it is not just an instructional narrative, but reflects a spiritual truth. Observing Shabbos doesn't merely pause the labor of the week, it elevates it, it sanctifies it. The holiness of the Shabbos extends beyond the day itself, retroactively blessing the work done throughout the week. And by keeping Shabbos, we ensure that our efforts, that our work was not just physical toil, but a part of a divine purpose. The success of our work is directly tied to the keeping and to the mitzvah of Shabbos. More than a day of rest, it is the very source of blessing that sustains, that uplifts all that we do. And by stepping away from the demands of the week, and by dedicating time to God, we invite Him into our lives, ensuring that our work, that our labor is fruitful. And Shabbos is not just the culmination of the week, it is its foundation, infusing every moment with meaning, with godly and divine energy. The Ohr HaChaim explains that Shabbos is the soul of the world. And just as the soul gives life to the body, Shabbos breathes holiness into the mundane. Without it, work remains ordinary, disconnected from something higher. But when Shabbos is observed, it is transforming time and action, turning physical into the vessel for the holiness, for the spiritual energy. Even the Mishkan, God's dwelling place in this world, could not be built without first acknowledging the Shabbos, because true holiness isn't found by what we create, but in recognizing the one who grants us the ability to create. This profound lesson from the Ohr HaChaim is especially relevant now as we transition from the celebration of Purim to the preparations for Pesach, the birth of the Jewish nation. In both redemptions, human effort played a part, played a role, yet it was God's plan that determined the outcome. From the 10 plagues and the splitting of the Sea of Reeds to the downfall of Haman and the salvation of the Jewish people, recognizing God's sovereignty was central to our Geula, to our redemption. What was true then remains true today, and perhaps now more than ever. Never before in history has the Jewish people possessed a stronger, a more capable army than the brave soldiers of the IDF, of the Israeli Defense Forces. Yet military strength alone is not the sole condition for victory. Despite the courage, despite the sacrifices displayed on the battlefield, success is not defined by power alone, but by alignment of our efforts with God's divine plan. Just as our forefathers fought with faith as their shield, so too we must recognize that the ultimate victory, both physical and spiritual, depend on God's guidance and on God's blessing. We are fighting a war on two fronts: the physical battle against our enemies and the spiritual battle for the soul of the world. The resilience of our nation has always been rooted in something far greater than a military might alone. It is found in the strength of our conviction, of our Torah, of our mitzvahs, in our belief in God, in the unity of our people, and the unwavering belief that God directs history. And so as the war resumes in Gaza and beyond, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu, may God bless and protect the heroic soldiers of the IDF with strength, with protection, and with success. May they achieve not only the military victory, but the triumph of good over evil, ensuring peace and redemption for the Jewish nation and the entire world. In our daily life, it is easy to believe that progress is measured solely by effort. Yet we know that some work tirelessly every single day and achieve very little, while others seem to exert minimal effort and find success. True achievement is not just about action, but about the values that guide us. Strength alone does not guarantee victory. What matters is the clarity of purpose, specifically the principles that we will refuse to abandon. While our actions shape the future, it is our unwavering commitment to our beliefs that determines true success. So when we are faced with uncertainty, with challenge, with obstacles in our way, it is not just about what we do, but why we do it that keeps us on the right path. The greatest victories belong to those who stood firm in their convictions, ensuring a legacy that does not fade with time, but ripples beyond the moment, shaping generations to come. Because in the end, it is not strength alone that endures, but the faith that we refuse to surrender. There's a profound quote that I once read: "Strength builds walls, but conviction builds legacies." Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.